My name's Steve Feltham, full-time hunter of the Loch Ness Monster, and you're listening to the Unbelievers podcast.
The swamp, Louisiana's murkiest and most mysterious natural resource, home to some of the most fearsome Cajun cryptid creatures to ever call the Bayou home. The Rougarou, or the Loop-Garoop, all right. The Honey Island Swamp Monster, the Grunch. Does that even count? Well, one glaring omission from this legion of Louisiana legends is one that seems a little too obvious, but is totally real. Tonight, the Unbelievers podcast is back on the beat of cryptids as we rev up the fan boat for a deep dive into a deep south secret that needs to be uncovered in only the way we can. So strap on those fishing sneakers and get ready to fill some holes. It's time to get out the tar for Gator Man. Right here in the program, we continue to learn to unlearn everything you know. Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. I'm Rus Ryan, and joining me as always is my co-host, Drea Mora. Hello, Drea.
What's up?
What's up, Drea? And returning co-host, he's back, y'all. It's Kevin Cobbs.
Oh, shit.
What? Oh. And of course, soundboard engineer, engineer Rob Okey.
Oh yeah, that guy.
You know, they like to be kind of like a secret.
As Russ introduced me, thunder struck right outside here, so that's a good omen.
I thought like
young
AC/DC
Frankenstein.
started. That's awesome.
It's a good omen for this episode.
Welcome back.
I think so.
Kevin Cobbs, it has been far too long, man. It was so glad to get you back in the world of Unbelievers and the Unbelievable podcast that you were from. And I understand you got to see our buddy Brian recently, yeah?
I did. I saw actually like a whole bunch of the Unbelievable crew, Phoebe and Sebastian and Brian, for Brian's beautiful wedding in mountainous Colorado. It was super high up where we were, and we had to buy little oxygen canisters.
Did you really?
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my God.
I did see that. I saw that you tagged the company that made it. Did they respond? And
Matt
do you
did.
have a deal with them?
Matt did that, and apparently they followed him back, so maybe he's got a deal in the works.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
All right. That's the foot in the door right there.
They sold those things at the hotel lobby. And
Wow.
It was kind of necessary because you get a little out of breath, a little lightheaded. I don't know how those fucking freaks live up there year round.
They have lower
they
bone
adapt.
density over some time, I imagine.
You got to adapt. It takes time. It takes time to adapt to that weird temperature.
Yeah,
Only
their muscles
cryptids and weird
atrophy.
people can do it.
I don't think they fully adapt, though, because everyone out there, when you get above a certain altitude, they're all a little weird, like they're off, you know?
I've only been there
True.
a couple of years. I'm kind of just transplants there. It's a bunch of magnet place. But
True.
Brian actually getting married up there, it was almost an Unbelievable podcast reunion. All you guys got out there to celebrate.
Yeah, I can't believe Brian's really
Our
married.
podcast
That's
dad. Yeah, I
awesome.
know. It's been a long journey.
off
with
the
Brian,
market.
So
Yeah, I don't know if he wants. I assume he's let everyone know he's married. I assume he's not hiding it from his secret second family that he may or may not have.
well, they actually listen to
No,
the
we
show.
should. We
so
need to have
time they
we need to have him on and talk to him actually about this soon. It's been too long.
It can
since
be
we
a
had
good
Brian.
like Maury episode and everything. We can just
Yeah. That would
be
have it
great.
out and be like, now we have to have him tell everybody about his second family. Too bad.
We want answers. That's right. I'll get him on Believer Skeptic. I'll pull him on.
He's got the time now. He's on strike or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh shit!
that's right. So,
Right.
so we'll
That's
know
right.
he has nothing written if he's on the show, so we can really grill him about it because he can't prepare anything. He's on strike, and
He's not allowed to write.
he can't write anything. Yeah, we
Can't
got
write
him
in his
whenever we want
diary.
him.
Nothing.
Is podcasting? Isn't podcasting kind of writing in certain ways?
God,
I don't
no.
know.
I'm
I don't
not
want
in
to
the
get him in
guild.
trouble.
I can
No,
write all
it's
this. And
not.
I've actually written.
I'm
them
not
out.
in that.
I don't know how these rules.
Don't
I'm
you
not
put
in
that evil on
that
me.
guild. I'm not in that guild, but I assume if he pulls out a pencil and puts it to paper, some police come out of his closet and
True.
arrest him.
There you go. That's the rules. That is how it works.
Well, all right,
Makes sense
Kev.
to me.
Now we're here. I'm not on. There's no podcast strike going on. I'm writing like a madman, and I'm happy to have you on. Holy crap, this is gonna be a fun one tonight. It's time we get into the Alligator Man.
Mosquitoes buzzing round my head, Spanish moths for my bed. Very seldom and see dry land, 'cause I'm an alligator man. I hunt the gator all night long, sell his hide and then I'm gone.
Ah, yes, yeah. That music sure means something because tonight, the Unbelievers are back in the realm of mysterious and dangerous cryptid creatures as we will be discussing a lesser known but close to home, for me, monster known as the Gator Man. And I gotta ask, what is you guys' histories with Gator Man? Have you heard much about it before this assignment?
No, I definitely haven't actually.
Never heard of never heard of this Gator Man. I've imagined Gator Men. I mean, Ed Orgeron was kind of a Gator Man.
That's true.
Coach O.
The Tigers,
Go
yeah.
Tiger.
Lots of restaurants, they'll have alligators with sunglasses on, but that's not this. There is not too much out there about this Gator Man. It is one of the swamp's best-kept secrets, but there is one show that dared to cover a subject as terrifying as Gator Man. And this is a very, very short-lived show from 2014 titled Beasts of the Bayou. And even I have not heard of this show, most likely because it lasted about 3 wonderful episodes back in 2014 on Discovery Channel. And this thing, it's got a real strange format. It seems like it wants to be a cross between the Mountain Monsters and Monster Quest, because every episode, they follow a group of these ragtag Cajuns, which are like just essentially swamp hillbillies, cut with a semi-serious scientific investigation with a guy who looks like he's washed his clothes in the last week or so. It's like a stark difference in the 2 investigations going on here.
Yeah, that was the very first thing I wanted to address was Blimp's sweatshirt.
Yeah, I will say the Cajun team does not have proper clothing. Their clothes are ripped and dirty.
Dude, that's the fucking dirtiest zip-up hoodie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they definitely didn't. They didn't get dressed up special for the recording of this episode. They didn't really do anything special at all for the recording of this episode. It just seems like it was just like any normal sort of day. They didn't really seem like they knew the cameras were even coming.
Yeah, they make the Mountain Monsters look like high fashion.
Wow.
And the thing is, they don't even do a flashy intro with their names, so we kind of get to know them. You just have to watch.
They kind of do.
At one point they do, but you kind of have to watch here and there to catch their names. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Okay, so the episode description is as follows. A group of fishermen and a group of scientists attempt to solve the mysteries surrounding a fill in the blank for each episode, because this is the same intro they all do. The first one was about the Rougarou, of course, the most famous of the Cajun cryptids. And episode 2 was the Alti, which is a Loch Ness swamp river monster. That was their second episode. And then the third and final one that we will be covering here. Here's the description, where local fishermen in Venice, Louisiana are searching for the Parlangua, a half-man, half-alligator creature thought to be responsible for a rash of recent attacks. And yes, the Parlangua, that is just fancy French talk for Gator Man.
All right, let me ask a question. Had you heard of this Gator Man before tonight, Russ? Because you're from down there. This is your neck of the woods. You just asked us all, did you know anything about this fucker?
No one does. I asked people here, and you're going to see, they act like this is, everyone talks about the Parlangua. I can't even say it correctly yet. I'll have to hear him say it 50 more times, which you're going to hear.
I was so hoping that you were going to be like, fuck yeah. I'd heard about this thing since I was a little kid.
We've been scared of this since we were kids. No, it's nothing like that at all. It seems completely, I don't know, well, maybe there just needs to be a little more awareness. We're going to help with that. And the intro to this show did not disappoint. So if you're looking for like a creepy Cajun swamp monster story, this opening bit is going to have you more on edge. A long-tailed cat in a room full of possums? What kind of more on edge than what?
I don't know. I just heard moron twice.
Let's find out.
Wasn't too long ago. A couple young hunters come on out in the bayou. Gonna shoot down some gators. Well, you know they got greedy. Pretty sure he got them straight on. Went over to check on him and he was gone. And then they heard that sound, that eerie sound. That's when they knew that the hunter had become the hunted.
See, I think you could get these roles, Kevin. This is like Tales from the Swamp. There's like a Cajun Crypt Keeper in here.
I think I could get that role, but I think instead they went with a guy from the Shreveport Community Theater or something. Because that guy was laying it on thick.
He was hamming it up.
Do you think he was it too much? Did he give it too much, Kevin? What would be your recommendations
I'm
on
going to give about 10 seconds of dead air between everything I said.
I forgot what he was talking about. He was taking so long.
I thought the clip was over about 6 times in that 1 minute span. But Russ, let me ask you, are you like pretty close to where all this is going down, or are you at a
Yeah, I mean,
place?
I live in Lafayette, which is a city, but it would take, it's a 30, 40-minute drive to be up in any of this kind of nonsense. It's not very far for me. It's just
he's pretty fucking close to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty close to it.
He's really close.
You're pretty much in it.
Yeah, I'm like trying to come off all metropolitan. Like, I'm only like 20 minutes away. Like, no, you live in a swamp. Like, you are sitting in a swamp.
He's pretty damn
You're
close.
a swamp, Billy. It's okay, though. We accept that
you're-
about you.
You're a beast of the bayou.
So I do, BOTBs. That's what we're doing out here.
BOTBs.
The voice aside, I want to know, like, what was he even talking about? He's like, these guys got greedy and they went out for more. It's like, well, I mean, they're already hunting alligators.
More what?
How greedy can you get? They just wanted more
because
gators.
I guess they pay pretty well. I mean, I've watched that one show about people in the swamps, and then they have to slow down the shot when they're shooting the gator, and they never show them actually shooting the gator.
Swamp people.
Yes, that one. Thank you.
Swamp people.
Yeah, this is definitely directly influenced. I think all of those
swamp people.
That whole era in like the early 2000s of like, swamp material, regular History Channel shows became so big that they kept trying to make these cryptid hunting shows and it just never worked. And this one definitely didn't work.
You can almost picture like the board meeting and like the TV executives being like, what do they like? Are like swamp people's getting great numbers. How do we what else is doing good? The monster shit? Like, how do we mix these things together?
They're doing it a little different too.
Like, all right.
Yeah, because watching that bit, I was like, wow, this narrator is intense. But no, that's not the actual narrator because this show is also being Monster Quest. And here is a second intro with another dramatic but not Cajun sounding guy.
Louisiana, the end of the line for the Mississippi River. These bayous are swarming with ancient, apex predators. Gators. Alligators are supposed to be the most dangerous creature in the swamp. But according to legend, there's something here that even gators fear. It's half alligator, half man. And it's known to locals as the Parlangua.
Hey, the Parlangua.
The Parlangua's half man, half alligator.
Walks on its hind legs, alligator head.
Covered in scales, some really sharp, nasty teeth.
It wasn't an alligator, it was in the water, it was something alligator type. I was definitely scared, that's no lie.
Eyewitnesses describe a creature that crawls while stalking prey, but can stand on 2 legs to attack, using its sharp, deadly claws. Its body is covered in hard, spiny scales, and it makes an ungodly roar.
All right, so the Parlangua, that I have to be able to say it correctly, of course. And yeah, man, there was some great clips in that. They had...
It's half alligator, half man.
Just for the Pantheon, Rob, I know we have so many, half this, half that, half chicken, part
I
man.
know. Thank you for
Half
adding
ugly
another one
motherfucker.
to the library. We need as many as we can get.
Right.
You didn't get the one guy saying it's alligator head or whatever the fuck he said. Like,
Walks on its hind legs, alligator head.
Yeah, of course I got it. What are you talking about?
there he is.
Alligator head.
Alligator head.
The main voiceover is so tonally wrong for this show.
It is.
In my opinion, it's like, where the Mississippi River ends, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, once you watch it, it sounds like it should be Dukes of Hazzard, where it's like, we got to find out what these old boys got into this week. Like the narration is way off.
Yeah,
Feels like a really dramatic blockbuster.
Well, it sounds like they're about to discuss like a triple homicide, like a cold case or something, but it's just Gator Man. It's Gator Man we're talking about here.
Throwing it all
well,
together here.
Blimp sure got himself into it this week on to the Bayou.
Let's see if Nathan can wrangle his way out of this one. Okay, so we heard the description. This is an alligator that can stand up on his hind legs, and he also makes an ungodly sound. And it just reminded me that I have heard of something like this before, but it wasn't an alligator. It was a crocodile, which is very close.
Oh, that's so different.
And it went something like this.
Soon we approached the nesting grounds of a creature from the prehistoric past. The terrible, fearsome Croco-Stimpy. If we listen very carefully, we might just hear the beautiful, haunting mating call of this majestic beast. Listen, you idiot.
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
Okay, so there are differences between crocs and gators. That's a perfect example where they got the bellowing. Sorry, that would remind me because, yes, if you've seen that is a gator who stands up on his hind legs and he goes to work. But that's a croc. It's a Croco-Stimpy. Different.
I hadn't heard that in years, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I don't know what's the difference between a croc and a gator?
One got a pointed nose, the other one got kind of wide one. That's as far as I can remember. As far as
that'll work for me. That's enough for me.
Yeah, you would think that the alligator would be the pointed one so that it looks like an A shape, but it's not. It's the other way around. It's dumb.
One of them only fucks with salt water, too.
No, the saltwater crocodile only fucks with salt water, but crocodiles are in fresh water mostly.
There's a lot. One thing
the other big
that is also true. There's a lot of different types of crocodiles, which is something I didn't really understand. I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna hear a little bit about that because there's some great theories in this. But yeah, and okay, thank you, Ren and Stimpy. Back to the serious stuff. The Gator Man. Let's hear about some historical encounters with Gator Man.
Sightings of the monster first surfaced in the 1960s in Rapides Parish, Louisiana. A newspaper report describes a car accident when a driver lost control and entered the swamp. Eyewitnesses claim that an alligator stood up and attacked the driver, biting off his legs and head.
Whoa! Okay, they could have started with the head.
Sightings have been reported, always moving in a southward direction toward the wild bayous of southern Louisiana.
Yo,
wait, that's where I live.
His legs and his head.
That had to suck for that driver, right? You get in an accident, you fall in a bayou, and then you get your head bitten off while people are watching. There was witnesses to this.
There were witnesses? I thought that
bystanders saw it happen.
Afterwards. Fuck.
Where you live, do you ever see the gator out in the wild?
You can go see them, yeah. It's not that far away. You can also go see them in the not wild, like where they make Tabasco sauce. There's like a little pond full of gators. You can just drive by at any time and just go say hi to them.
And they're just for funsies?
Yeah, they're just for fun. You just go hang out with them.
Do they ever cross your path? Do you ever accidentally just come across a gator?
Oh, no, I live in a city. There's no alligators here.
Come on, no. You live in.
No one's walking a gator.
You live in Louisiana. There's gators everywhere.
I think that question is fair because, in South Florida, if you're in Miami or Palm Beach, they do just come in.
They're everywhere.
You cross paths with them all the time.
This is more like rats. Yeah, that's not happening. So, but this was the 60s, and ever since then, I guess I've just been moving my way. So I might even see this guy. Yeah. So besides these historical cases like that last one, there was another very modern one where there's also photographic evidence. A guy named Joseph Coopsey. He looks like the Cajun Shawn Michaels. I'll say that. He was
great.
He was fishing with his dog Bessie when suddenly a large alligator man grabbed the dog and had its way with poor Bessie. He actually took an image, and they showed this image throughout the entire episode, and it looks like an alligator with long arms holding a dog in the water. Almost looks like, Drea, I'll say this, it looks like the Kappa from the Japanese cryptid episode.
Okay, having sex with the dog?
No, bringing it to its mouth, about to just go to town on. We'll post that image of the alleged
I don't know about that picture.
She said having its way with it, and I didn't know what that meant.
Kevin, what do you think about that picture? Do you think that picture was legitimate, or do you think it looks like it was photoshopped? Because my opinion,
that set off my fake picture alarm bells big time. That looked very fake to me.
What does that sound like?
It was very smooth.
Fake. That's what my fake alarm bell. No, I thought that was one of a couple of things in this episode that I thought seemed staged.
Yeah, they base a lot off that picture. They show it a lot, and it's just
walks on its hind legs. Alligator head.
It was like an alligator head when he's got a dog.
Alligator head.
Pushing to it.
Yeah.
Walks on its hind legs.
So is that the only
They're
part
obsessed
then
with
that
this
makes it man-like? Is that it gets up on its hind legs? It doesn't have. It said it's half man, but it's got the
It's got
sharp claws.
It's like arms are too long and it can stand up.
I've seen people like that.
So, well, now we know what we're dealing with as far as the Parlangua. I'm going to say this wrong so many times. Parlangua.
Parlangua. Think about lengua.
Parlangua.
You know, like the Spanish word for
Parlangua.
tongue. Like, ew.
Are you? Is that Creole or French? That word?
I actually asked a teacher friend of mine who knows a lot of French. I said, you know about the Parlangua? And she goes, okay, it has to do something with the tongue. And I was like, no, it's a walking
That's what
gator
I
man.
would've
She said,
thought.
never mind. I don't know. And yes, she, because I live out here, I've asked all the Cajun people I know that no one's heard of this thing, but we're going to learn about it. And
It's almost like this thing was made up by some TV show.
It's not. It's
almost
real.
Like
it's like old
completely
school,
made up.
I think.
I'm so close to thinking that, but
Look, Kevin, you keep referencing Blimp. Now, we have not met the team that is going to hunt for this yet. Even though, so we're gonna meet them now. Even though these guys are technically fishermen, fishing is pretty much hunting, right? So I don't even think this team has a name, but we're gonna meet them now.
The swamps here could be hiding a killer, and there's one group of men determined to find it.
We'll just drop back here. We'll take the little boat further inshore.
Sorry, what?
Blimp Jeremy, his nephew Nathan, and longtime friend Eric Tizer have spent their lives trawling every corner of these waters. It's their home. It's their land. And if there is a deadly creature hiding here, they will find it.
Everybody around here has heard of the Parlangua. It's a legend here, down here in the swamps of Louisiana. A lot of people have seen it. I know it sounds far-fetched, but anything's possible. So where, how, and why is yet to be a mystery. Right now, we're heading out into a part of the swamp where a hunter's dog mysteriously was killed. When they found the body, the scratches on the dog was real deep and real close together. And I know an alligator can't do that. There's something else out here.
Okay. So
I love that sentence is yet to be a mystery.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. I have that for us. Let's break this down here.
Where, how, and why is yet to be a mystery.
Yet to be a mystery. This where, how, and why of this.
Well, I mean, that does make sense because it's not a mystery. I mean, I'm sorry, it totally is, or has potential to be a mystery.
Is yet to be revealed, I think is what he meant, but
is a mystery that is yet to be revealed.
Where, how, and why is yet to be a mystery.
It is a hard sell.
The mystery.
It's a hard sell that these guys are the best the Bayou has to offer to hunt for this Gator Man. They say they trawled every corner of the Bayou. So this team is made up of...
Dude, this is like the first time they put a camera on this guy, and that's what comes out of his mouth.
So this is...
Like, they literally just started filming this show.
episode
He's
3,
on his
though.
way to go.
He's a veteran
And
at
the
this
first
point.
thing this dude has is that line. And oh my God, this is not a good start.
I'm going to get their names out. That is Blimp Jeremy, his nephew Nathan, and a good friend Eric Tizer. That is the team of Where, How, Why.
Weird looking crew, like a weird blunt rotation that you would never want to be part of.
Yeah, big.
Really strange,
blunt
like
rotation.
Yeah, like the nephew, quote unquote, his nephew is just this little blonde, like 17-year-old looking, like impish boy who runs around the woods.
So you basically have
the other two.
You have like two fatzos with like really like bad clothes, like they're ripped up sweaters and everything.
He looks like Buck.
They are. He's a lot like Buck.
Okay.
And the other guy is kind of a little more normal, like a Jeff from Mountain Monsters. But the young kid, yeah, he just has like almost like a Bieber haircut, but he's like a little swamp kid. And he doesn't say shit for a long time in this, but he is
like
there.
a little Tarzan of the fucking swamp jungle, you know?
Two things I noticed. One was it took me about half the episode because it was like, oh, this Blimp Jeremy. And I was like, oh, Blimp, okay. And I didn't really think about it. And then they did a wide shot of him running. And I was like, oh, they call him Blimp because he's fucking huge.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, because he's thick like a blimp.
He says like 6 times in the episode, like, I'm about to have a heart attack out here running around for this gator.
He says stuff like, mercy. When he's running. So,
and wait, not to focus too much on their physical appearance, but what the hell happened to Blimp's friend's nose?
Yeah. Okay. So there's
something
also a guy
Gator related.
There's also a guy who has like half an Artie Lang nose, who is the other guy in this.
Man.
He's his really good friend in this, Eric Tizer. Yeah, Eric Tizer. Yeah, so they don't do a lot of shots of it. They kind of do a good job of filming around it, but the times when he does,
every time they film him, they shoot him from that angle.
shoot him from up his nostril, and it's completely gone.
Yeah, I feel like he's got another. The whole time I'm like, guys, you could just go from the other side and get like maybe a more flattering shot of this man. But whatever.
Like Beast of the Bayou. Are they the beasts of the bayou, or like it's like the mountain monsters? Are they hunting the monsters, or are they the monsters?
They are the monsters.
Are they the
Turns out
beast?
I was the beast the whole time.
Yeah, he's like Grover.
It actually
he figures it out.
It lends. You got to admit, it lends a level of credibility that he has some sort of a physical deformity going on from what you could only imagine is some swamp-related battle.
Yeah, but that's not Blimp. That's not Blimp, though.
Imagine.
That's the guy who no one really cares about. He's just there. But so I think they realized that, this show looks a little low rent with these guys. So they had to add a more scientific angle. So the show also follows herpetologist Sean Heffling, way up 100 miles north in Belle Chase, Louisiana, whose job it is to track and keep a running count of the alligator population there. A dangerous job. He's out there literally
exhausting.
just counting alligators.
Watching alligators fuck all day.
That's what he does. And he claims he doesn't fear gators.
Watches them.
Yeah, he respects them and loves them. He goes on to explain that sightings of the Parlangua spike in the springtime, which is also gator mating season, when they are much more active.
What is that?
And they're doing that unsettling bellow
They're a lot more
sound.
desperate. Yeah.
What does that mean? Does that mean that the Gator Man is out fucking other gators? So that's why we're seeing more of him? Because he's out and about and he's getting at?
Well, I think he's just trying to give a rational explanation for this idea of a gator man, that there is a little more like aggressive activity going on during that time. But he also brings up there's another possible explanation. He starts telling us about another creature that could be the culprit, a creature whose name I could not say any more menacingly than the narrator does.
The deadly Cuban crocodile.
Cuban crocs are a species of crocodile that have amazing abilities that could overlap the legends of the Parlangua. Very dinosaur looking. They have these, we call it ear flaps. They're extremely agile. They have the ability to run very fast.
But the most terrifying feature is the Cuban crocodile's ability to stand on its hind legs and leap into the air. Some can get up to 3 feet off the ground. If the Cuban crocodile has migrated to Louisiana, it could be one of these menacing creatures that is responsible for the spike in Parlangua sightings. But there's one major factor that keeps Cuban crocodiles from thriving in the bayou.
The winters are way too severe. The only way that Cuban crocodiles could survive in the bayou during the winter is if they found some supplemental heat source to stay warm in that severe winter.
Wow, they like poo-pooed their own point really quickly there. It's like, they could be this thing, but actually it could never be this thing. And I don't think I knew about Cuban crocodiles before, though. Man, those things are scary. Like, those are neat.
Dude. I'm never going to Cuba after what? If those things are hanging around Cuba, fuck that. Those things are terrifying.
Dude, did you see them hopping? Okay, for the listeners right now who have probably never seen a Cuban crocodile, because I didn't even know these things existed. Apparently there's crocodiles that can run and hop and jump into the air and then stand on their back legs for like a couple seconds.
Yeah, they got hops. And they can go like 3 feet.
They got hops. For real, they could dunk on you. These fucking gators they got springs, and they're spring loaded.
I was relieved when he said these things could survive here. I was like, good. We got enough problems here. We don't need
the
these
winters
things.
are too severe.
Yeah, the winters are extremely not severe in Louisiana, but
right?
Probably a lot more.
I think it's the thing with the equator, maybe, because I think Cuba's like right on the other side, maybe? Is that how it works?
Cuba's so close that they probably don't even have winter. So but
it probably stays warm.
But I thought the other, because you said he poo-pooed his point, but what I thought they were, at least what I took away from it is they're theorizing there's maybe some like psycho Cajun guy down there who's got a whole army of Cuban crocodiles.
I think about that,
keep them
He
warm.
warms them up
We
during the
fill
winter
these
time.
Cuban crocodiles full of cigars and we bring them down here. now we're stuck with them.
I thought maybe they were trying to say
Cocaine.
that like they figured out a new way to like hibernate and stay warm, like they're digging deeper, or I don't know what they were even trying to allude to.
Well, right.
or what that heat source could possibly be.
Well, what they did was, so if it is a Cuban croc, they kind of theorized they would have to stay on land all day and regulate its temperature. So after this, they head back to Blimp and the boys with an exciting action shot of them pulling up their boat onto some random marsh. And yeah, you were right, Kevin.
Yeah, unnecessary.
Blimp looked winded from just riding on the boat. Like before he even got out, he was like, oh, and he's just sitting on there.
Just from sitting.
Yeah, but he hops out. He runs to the camera. They get very excited about their first discovery. They find raccoon tracks. Very exciting stuff. And they deduce that these tracks must be from critters running away from a half man, half alligator. It just makes the most sense for being out there.
It's so their little show they put on is so funny too, because like when the boat pulls up and then like the little nephew kid like hops out like Peter Pan and like starts just jetting through the woods like looking for evidence.
Oh yeah,
And
he's got a
just,
machete
like,
wielded, and it looks like that boat has pulled up there 3 or
Just
4
chopping.
times already. There's like a little indentation in the mud.
They're like, all right, fellas, can we do it again? But this time as fast as you fucking can.
Blimp's like, this is my only boat. This is like my work vehicle. Like, come on, Blimp, you're gonna be on TV. You're a star.
The whole show, a lot of it, especially the Blimp sequences, felt very staged.
Sounds so funny.
And it reminds me, because I don't know if I've ever talked about, whatever. My illusions of reality TV were shattered very early because I was on a reality show when I was 16.
What?
What?
Yeah. It was called To Catch a Predator. No.
That was you?
No, it was...
No, I knew you looked familiar.
No.
Damn it.
It was, so my friend, I won't go too deep into this, but it was a show on ABC Family called Switched, where they took 2 kids from America and they switched places. And it was usually like, so anyway, my friend was a star basketball player at my high school. And they switched him with this kid who was a figure skater from Las Vegas. And I was assigned as I was the main point person, the best friend. And
You're like his new best friend.
yeah. So I was like, okay. So for a whole weekend, I had to basically be a part of this production. And I realized everything we did, it was the producers were like, okay, you're going to do this. That's going to happen. Because, at that point in my life, I thought reality TV was they just roll camera and whatever they get, they get.
Right.
But it's that's obviously so cost ineffective. So there's just okay, you guys are going to play pickup basketball and okay, you're going to pull your car in at this point. And I do remember actually, like Blimp, at one point I had to pick the kid up and drive away, and I floored it and got, smoke coming out of my car just to be a dickhead. But anyway, that's an aside.
If something happens, if I got to repair this, you guys, no, just it looks cool. You're on TV. All right.
That's amazing.
Wow. I wish if someone can find that episode and send
I was
us
going to say, we'll find it. We'll have to look into that.
It's out
Switched
there.
on ABC Family.
It aired nationally. It was one of the biggest pieces of shit ever, but it's out
so
there.
exciting. I can't wait to find it.
I'd never heard of it.
You can see high school.
It'd be great
me.
to watch on the stream. We need to do a reaction on the stream.
Yeah,
Dude,
we'll
if you guys can find that, I will come back and I will be humiliated.
Okay,
and watch
no, we'll
it.
do it. We'll do
absolutely.
It. That'll be fun.
Beautiful.
You'll
Sounds like a
Submission
great,
now.
we'll do a
great
live
time.
show with that. That'll be
Anyway,
fun.
that's all to say. Blimp and his segments had a little bit of that vibe to me.
Yeah, but Blimp is trying, and so he actually is trying to pull something off. So they delve further into this area, and they make another puzzling discovery. They find some big black eggs. And so Blimp is convinced. He's like, this is Gator Man eggs. Case closed. Let's hear it.
What the hell is that? I ain't never seen a black one. Alligator eggs are white.
Alligator eggs are small and white in color, but the ones that Blimp and his team have uncovered are large and dark.
Feel how heavy that is.
Hey, what's that over there?
The fence.
A pretty high fence to be in the swamp, ain't it?
Sure.
Man, this is an ostrich farm, man.
Good God, look at the feet on them, Plum.
Man, I can't believe there's an ostrich farm all the way out here.
Mercy.
After all that, you will not believe it. It turned out to be an ostrich farm. Unbelievable. That pretty much explains where the eggs gonna come from. But I don't believe that's what killed that dog. An ostrich isn't gonna pull a dog out of the boat or out of the water. That's just crazy. All right, boys, let's get back to the boat. Whatever creature we're after, it's not here. Here we go.
Disproving their own point immediately. They figure out, man, what a loaded clip. Holy cow, there's so much going on there. No one is, okay, hold on. I just got to hit this real quick.
An ostrich isn't going to pull a dog out of the boat or out of the water. That's just crazy.
No one said that. No one said that this was actually an ostrich doing this.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
That's what's crazy about this whole episode, not the idea of a man.
That'd be funny if that clip went, an ostrich could never pull a boat out of the water unless, and then they like went into mercy.
And I hope you like this one. There was so much stuff in here. I'm going to keep this. It's just, I don't know, so we can use sometimes. Just go.
I know. That got me too, just listening back to it. The thing that the listeners don't understand right now, though, is that Rus also expedited this whole experience for you because this being a TV show, you know what they had to do at this moment. When they found the eggs, they cut right to commercial. They cut right to they showed those black eggs. They cut right to commercial, and then they came back and they kind of like retreaded the whole finding the eggs moment again. But then like there's a whole moment of suspense leading up to them finding out that it's an ostrich farm that I love, and they're like all about to chase this like ostrich that they see, and they show one of them is holding the ostrich egg in his hand, and he still has a cigarette in his hand with the ostrich egg.
Well, sure.
He's holding an ostrich egg and a cigarette in one hand.
Put it out?
And a gun in the other hand, I'm pretty sure. So I was just like, these guys are fucking crazy. This is wild.
Oh, these guys are awesome.
You want to get them ostrich on that nicotine oily.
I just love that the realness. This motherfucker, he couldn't stop smoking a cigarette. They were filming this fucking scene. How long could it have taken them?
Smoking the cigarette. I mean,
he couldn't put the cigarette out. He had to have that cigarette.
They've got special muscles evolved to just grip it. They don't really need to like think about holding it. It just happens. It's like locks.
It's just
into their
it was
hand.
like just. I don't know. I think I had it paused in that moment. And I was like, is this motherfucker really holding a cigarette?
Well, it even calls into question the fact that they were like so baffled by these eggs. I thought you guys knew trawled every corner of this swamp. You ever seen a ostrich farm? And that is, I mean, Louisiana, they are a good amount of ostrich farms. There are all these random people who live in the middle of fucking nowhere of ostrich farms for God knows why to freak out the local fishermen, so they say.
Mercy.
But also, they're. When they stumble upon the fence, they're like, this is an awful high fence to be out here in this swamp.
Let's climb it. Oh my God.
What are you insinuating?
Foreshadowing.
That a Gator Man built a fence?
He's got to find warmth.
Yeah.
Remember, maybe he's a Cuban crocodile who's evolved and he needs a warmer place.
They had to build it extra high so that the Gator Man couldn't jump over it. Even though
cover myself in
huge
ostriches to stay warm.
As we've heard, the Gator Man is fucking huge, and
ostriches
you never
can
know.
Jump, can't they?
You seen the way those Cuban fucking crocs can hop around, so they got to make that fence tall so he can't go hopping up over that.
Yeah,
thing.
and I will say the only thing on this show I really cared about was Blimp and the team, but they unfortunately go back to the gator counting guy, but he sucks. He has nothing to do with the actual hunting of a half man, half alligator. He's just out there counting gators, so we're just going to focus on Blimp and the boys because their mission is more focused, and they meet with their new
you
mentor.
like these guys better than the other.
I'm not worried
like
about those. We're not going to hear much from them.
Crew.
So now they're going to go meet with a new mentor. This is part of the hero's journey they go through. This is an alligator wrangler named Teddy, and he has seen this monster with his own eyes.
I done seen it. Friend of mine, he wanted this really large gator, but I didn't have one here, so I had to go get one. I got this place deep in the swamp. I was out there setting my trap. Right then, I heard this noise behind me. And I turned, and there, I saw a gator standing up straight. That's when I ran. And I looked back, it was getting the chicken bait out of the tree. Grabbed it, and then he took off into the mist. I got the hell out of there.
You sure you ain't been hitting on that shine, Petey?
I'm telling you, this thing is out there, and I saw it.
All right, Kevin, how can I be sure that this isn't actually just you in doing a character because you've revealed some other secret projects you've done? This guy seems like the realest, fakest Cajun man ever.
So my question is, okay, because I don't really know I've been to Louisiana, but I've never been to Lafayette. Do you ever encounter people this egregiously Cajun in your day-to-day?
I will reveal it. All I will say is yes. These people do exist.
That's a good, solid answer.
I will say that it's yes. I'm not going to dox myself, but in the industry I'm in, especially, yes, I see a lot of older Cajun men on a regular basis. So I can back that up. But this guy, I don't know, he's so over it. And I got one clip from it that I don't know. I could use this eventually.
You sure you ain't been hitting on that shine, Petey?
They kind of dismiss Petey, but this is like their mentor moment. They meet this guy. He's like, no, it really happens. I'm out there. I got a secret spot where I hide.
He's a mentor?
Yeah, his whole story was weird. What is it? So he's going to get he needed a big gator, but he didn't have a big gator. So he's going to go trap a big gator. He's got to go get one. He just made it sound so casual, like he's just going to go get one by himself. It was very creepy, the whole reenactment that they did. He did it, if he did it in the way that it was in the reenactment, it was in the middle of the night. In the dark, by himself, trying to find the biggest gator that he can fucking find.
As you do,
So,
right?
What's the worst scenario you could imagine, basically?
What happened? Yeah, he finds the Parlangua standing up waiting for him. And so after hearing the terrifying testimonial from old Petey, Blimp and the gang, they go full on Ames Mountain Monsters team, and they go to the area of the sighting with a very special trap. Yes, this is another trapping show. And this trap is equipped with some special modifications by Blimp.
We out here right now where Petey sent me, where he had an encounter. So this is where we're going to set our trap at.
Blimp and his team have constructed a trap to hold a half-man, half-alligator, and they're setting it dead center of the gator-infested swamp.
We got something.
Okay, Nathan, let's bait this trap.
Okay.
We brought some chicken along with us, and we're going to hook a trigger mechanism up to where if anything goes in that trap and takes the chicken, we know something's in that trap. Nathan, what I did was come up with one of them Blimp ideas. It is a trap doorbell. Listen to this.
What?
So Nathan, set this up to where when that stick falls, it'll hit that button.
Oh, Jinx, you owe me a Coke, buddy. Yeah, so this is a very shabby trap because we have bbeen spoiled with some very good ones from the Mountain Monsters guys.
Oh, exquisite.
This trap looks so rough. It does have that trap doorbell though, but it almost looks like a little shitty Mardi Gras float. It's a little cage with a bunch of brown like tiki grass or something around the sides of it.
I think you call that. I just learned what that grass is called. Doesn't matter. There's a word for it.
Well,
oh man,
it's like thick hay.
It's one
It's
step
just hanging off of it.
This trap is like one step above like what Boy Scouts make when they're out in the woods. It's like barely. It's not even like Boy Scout level.
What do Boy Scouts
I don't even
make
know if
out
you
in
can
the
catch a
woods?
rabbit. It's basically like the sort of thing you would put a box with like a fucking stick
With, like,
holding it up so that
under
when
the
something
box.
bumps into the stick, they get stuck under a box.
It is. It's very
that sort of
cartoonish.
technology.
It looks like something Wile E. Coyote would set up.
I was gonna say an Acme trap.
The alarm. They all thought it was. They thought it was hilarious.
He added that doorbell. Well, he added that doorbell, and I think that was
What I did was come up with one of them Blimp ideas.
That was a Blimp idea. That's what he called it. I came up with one of those famous, what do you call
What
them?
I did was come up with one of them Blimp ideas.
I'll bet you after he said that, he turned to the camera and they cut it out, but he went, registered trademark, Blimp.
I got Blimp ideas, and that's how we're doing this.
That's gonna be the hottest slang term now.
That's just any time this man has an idea, he has to point it out and call it a Blimp idea because he does not often have these. So when he does, it needs to be marked. And this was a Blimp idea.
Well, he's
just so
very
that
proud of it
everybody
too.
knows.
He's so proud of it that like he tries to show it to his emo nephew, and he who has not said a word yet on this show. I'll remind everyone, but somehow him and his
he's
best
not
friend,
allowed to.
Somehow him and his best friend are finishing each other's sentences. Listen,
To where when that stick falls, it'll hit that button.
all right, guys, calm down. Like, are you both looking at the teleprompter? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, when they presented this idea, I was pretty thoroughly confused with what the fuck was going on. It seemed so convoluted, and I knew it wasn't going to work. And I remember the name. I believe that's called pampas grass.
Okay, there you go. That's what
Okay.
they were covered in. Yeah, so the boys, they leave their trap with pampas grass. They leave it to, and then they just wander around the swamp aimlessly. But they are rocked right back into action when Blimp's trap doorbell actually goes off. They hear the stupid doorbell, but upon returning,
What was that scene? What the hell was that
They
scene?
were
of
just
them
wading through the
traipsing
swamp, just like, well, let's-
It was the longest scene of them walking through the swamp. I was like, well, something has to happen because they've just been walking and struggling to walk. These guys are supposed to do this all the time. It seemed very
it
difficult.
didn't seem like
and
they
it
were
also
that
seemed
far.
like a nightmare.
They weren't that far. They got
It
right
seemed
back.
That's like my worst nightmare is having to walk through that shit. It seemed like terrible.
Yeah, you
Like,
would get
that
random
experience.
shots. You get random shots of just snakes swimming around. They're like, "Oh, that thing will kill you right
Yeah.
there. Just let's walk
It
this way."
sucked.
They literally said that one time. They're like, "Well, that'll kill you. Let's go this
He's
way."
like, that one will kill you. I
Yeah.
was like, dude, you're fucking hunting Gator Man. He's gonna cut your head off, dude. He each bites your legs and then your head. This is the way Gator Man rolls. You
In
should be
that
scared
order.
about that.
It's like that
Yeah.
Steve McQueen movie from the 70s. The prison escape movie starts with a P. Help me out. Russ?
Poseidon Adventure. No, I don't know.
No, it's a prison escape movie where it's like a French prison in the Caribbean and they go through a harrowing escape. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, Drea, help me out.
Is it French for butterfly? Is it
Yes.
papillon? All right.
Papillon.
Yes, the Parlangua. Oh no, Papillon. Yes, there we go.
Drea gets an applause for remembering that.
Very good, Drea. Good call there. So what happens is, yes, they run back. The doorbell goes off, and when they get to the trap, there's no Gator Man, but there is a very regular, cute baby alligator inside. I think this was my favorite moment of the show. I think you forget how cute baby alligators can be, and they
They're
trapped
so
one in this.
Aw.
They were, but that first trapping attempt, it was an utter failure, just embarrassing. So the boys regroup that night at some kind of swamp camp that they have, where it quickly becomes Blimp story time. So look, guys, let's gather around. Drea, Kev, Rob, let's get closer to the fire for this
I'm scared.
great Blimp tale. Let's warm up.
One of the earliest alligator attacks in Louisiana was back in the 1850s. A man, he set out in the swamp to go bird hunting. But man, this bayou was just infested with alligators. So while he was hunting, he shot a bird, but it fell on land. So he shored his boat. When he turned around, the alligators, they were starting to just surround him. So he couldn't swim to his boat. So he climbed up the tree. He waited up in that tree for 3 days. No water, no food. And the gators, they were just waiting for him right below. They had this branch that went over the water.
All right.
So he figured if he climbed out, he could jump to his boat. But he knew he only had one chance. So he stood up and he looked back, and suddenly he saw it. It's an alligator climbing up a tree, but it has legs and hands like a man. So he swam to the boat, jumped in the boat, just out of the chomping jaws of the alligators. And he tells his story to everybody, but nobody believed him. But he went to his grave, claiming what he saw was the Parlangua. Half man, half alligator.
Wow, a genuine swamp tale. So is the Gator Man friends with the other gators? He seems like he's helping them gang up.
I think I'm starting to realize how this all went down. I think these producers from Discovery went down. They're in Louisiana. And they're like, shit, do we have a show? I don't know. Let's go into this, the shittiest dive bar in this town and ask anybody at the bar, do they have any stories? And Blimp just was like, oh yeah, the Parlangua. And all the other drunks were like, yeah. And he's like, if you give me $2,000, I can show you the Parlangua.
Sold. Do you need a new hoodie? Nope. This ripped up one will do just fine, sir. I'm camera
This
ready.
my nice hoodie. This my Sunday hoodie.
I was going to say, it's a Sunday best. That's the saddest part. Oh, my God. I'm getting a little bit confused about the description of this thing, though, because they was talking about how, it's got these long claws and everything. And then he said it had hands like a man.
It's got arms, yeah. Like
man claws?
Yeah, like
It looked like a man.
It looks like Killer Croc. Like, and I didn't want to mention this. I'm going to. The fact that this thing is like Killer Croc. There is a truck I know I've mentioned on the show that I see all the time of a truck that says Cajun Batman. So if I need to let this Cajun Batman, who actually lives in my neighborhood, there's a guy with a truck that says Cajun Batman on it. Cajun Batman needs to know about Parlangua and go take care of this.
Go fucking get him.
Dude, we need to. Well, I just want to say we need to get these because I've noticed 2 in the last month here in Atlanta. License plates. One I saw today was Batman, like Mon.
That's a pretty good one.
So it's like
Batman,
Jamaican Batman, and then I saw one that was Batman with an E at the end.
That's perfect too.
So it's like Atlanta Batman, Jamaican Batman, and then Cajun Batman. We should get them all
This is
together.
not even a license plate. This is a huge sticker on his hood, on his back truck, on the back window, everywhere on this
It's a whole
truck.
coalition of just bat dudes.
This is not what anybody was expecting when they started talking about the multiverse and the new
No, it is real, and I live in the shittiest universe where Cajun Batman has to fight the Parlangua. But I have some questions about this story, even regardless. So he said this is the 1850s. This guy's stuck in a tree, jumps off a branch. Evidently, the Parlangua Gator Man can just pretend he's a gator until he's climbing up the tree to get you. So he says he jumps from the...
what is happening?
Well, he says he jumps from the branch to his boat. What kind of boat did you have in the 1850s that's going to outrun a Gator Man with hands and legs? And wait, what else does he have? He's got...
Walks on its hind legs, alligator head.
Yeah, he's got all that stuff going on. I don't understand the story
He's
at all.
the leader of the gang. It's a gator gang, and he is the kingpin. Like, you know, he runs the show.
What, do you have a steamboat next to him? How is he getting away from a Gator Man? Like, I don't know how his boat is helping him. The Gator Man should be able to be fast.
Gator Man's holding down this section is what I'm saying. This is Gator Man's crew.
Gator Man's
other Gators. This dude came onto the wrong side of town, man. Probably the wrong time of the day or something. I don't know, dude. He should have just stayed the fuck. Should have stayed out of there, dude. Whatever that little gator swamp was. Stay away from it.
This is the legend.
Why are you there?
Pulled up by that dive bar, Kevin. Now it makes complete sense to me. But even if the story doesn't make sense, it was enough to give Blimp another one of those. Wait, what do they call them?
What I did was come up with one of the Blimp ideas.
So now Blimp knows what needs to be done to catch this Gator Man. That first trap that could be sprung by just nearly anything that moves in a swamp, even baby alligators. All right, that was stupid. That was a stupid trap. Bad idea. But this next Blimp idea is much better. So he now realizes he needs to make a trap that could only catch the Parlangua. So now we're going to enter the final act. And as we do that, I'm just going to mention that other team in this one. Last time, the guy out there who's taking a census of all the alligators and not helping at all to find Gator Man, that hepatologist, Sean Heffling. I'll spoil it. So his final count for the entire bayous in Louisiana was 2,350 gators, which is a 7% increase. Oh my God, big news.
Holy shit.
Do with that data as you will, but I will play one. We're going to play one clip of him in action counting these gators. He's doing some night gator counting, and I just want to play this because it puts his bravery on display for the world.
Anything? Watch! Back. In the middle of the boat. In the middle. Get off the side of the boat. Take a knee. What do you got? Anything? I don't know where it's at, but he's a big boy. You cannot be next to the edge right now. He's right here. Get off my boat. I don't know what his issue is, but he is not happy we're here. That's a big boy, Mikey. He is hormonal. We should probably
wrong time of the
get
month.
out of his area.
Okay, guys, he's hormonal. I think I just wanted that on the soundboard, I think. Thank you for your service. That's enough for you. Thank you for...
He is hormonal.
I do think it struck me when I was watching this that that is probably the most Louisiana job I've ever heard of is gator counter.
Yeah. Yeah, where every day you have to scream this.
Get off my boat!
I love that. He's been there doing this so long.
State pays me to count the gator.
He's like psychologically evaluating the gators too, saying stuff like,
I don't know what his issue is, but
What do you mean? What his issue is?
I don't know what his issue is. He needs therapy. This gator is fucking really not dealing with his issues. He really.
Like, man, this gator is not emotionally processing things correctly.
Yeah, check it. I got a little combo I can do here. Watch.
I don't know what his issue is, but he is hormonal.
I love that this dude's whole angle now. He's just like, I'm not seeing any evidence of Gator Man, but I will tell you one thing. These fucking gators are horny as shit. And,
they're everywhere. Please.
There's a lot.
Get off my boat!
They're everywhere.
I mean, we don't have to really get into this, but how the hell do gators even fuck?
We can get into it. We have plenty of time to talk about that. Russ,
well, it's
throwing it to you,
There's
Russ.
a lot of wrestling going on. There's a lot of spinning. Eggs are laid. Sometimes they're big and black.
Have you ever seen it in
Sometimes
person,
they're small
Russ?
and white. We don't know.
Have you ever seen it in person?
Oh, wait, Rob, I got to ask you something.
Get off my boat!
Oh, no, not that.
That works too.
I don't know what your issue is.
He's trying to kill me
about this. That's a different episode. So let's conclude this adventure of Blimp and his nephew and his friend with the nose as they learn from their previous mistakes in that great story from Blimp, which that story leads them to realizing that they should hang the bait, that raw chicken, a little bit higher off the ground. You know, it makes sense, but...
Yeah, sure.
They have to.
It's the only thing they can do.
They must.
So, but the trap surrounding this is just, I don't know. Let's just hear the clip.
And we need to hang it up high.
Why the hell does the bait have to be so high?
Well, what we want to do is we want to catch something big.
Big.
So we don't go back and we just have two little bitty alligators like we did in another trap. We're going to put the bait up high, and we're going to build a trench below it. And we're going to fill that trench with tar.
Tar's going to make them stick.
Yeah,
So I ain't going to let them
it'll
come
hold
out.
it. Stick. Well, let's dig us a hole. Let's dig us a hole right here.
I ain't digging no hole, Blum. You already know that.
I'm not digging it neither.
I ain't digging a hole. I'm going to have a heart attack.
Y'all better come up with an idea.
And that was
I think we got us a hole there,
Tell me I can't go us a hole.
Hey,
son.
hey, hey.
No shoveling there. No blisters.
Now, that hole will hold Parlangua. Let's pour some tar and set this trap.
Let's do it.
What the fuck? What happened?
Okay, so this was so ridiculous. So they're all out there. None of them want to dig a hole. They need it, but they know that this thing is
something big.
They need a hole, and they're all too lazy to dig it. And all of a sudden, a giant explosion goes off, like it's an intro to Jackass the movie or something behind them. This huge explosion happens that creates this huge hole, and of course, it is the perfect size hole to fill with tar and catch a
What is this
koala.
idea?
Okay, this was completely ridiculous idea. They're making a giant tar pit in the middle of the swamp with a piece of chicken hanging over it. Okay, all right.
Why tar?
Are
they going to feather it?
I can't imagine being this crew and like being like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, do that. Like, because that explosion was fucking huge.
Oh, they were so excited too. They even said,
I think we got us a hole there.
Oh yeah.
There's no rules. They don't have normal laws.
In
and,
the
like,
swamp, yeah, you can blow up whatever you want.
Swamp is no man's land. Like
It's like maritime law.
yeah, it's like It's even. I think it's even looser
It's
than
worse
maritime
than
law down at the
maritime law.
swamp. It's just gator law, literally.
Blimp is actually the sheriff of this town, so they know they can get away with whatever they want.
I mean, they blew that huge explosion and then just dumping tar. Also, the tar
into a pit.
Yes, they go into it about this. So the concept of this trap is that they have a giant hole which they fill with 600 buckets of tar. That is their words on this, and they're going to hang
600 buckets.
They're going to hang the chicken bait above the tar pit, so only a Gator Man is going to have access to this kind of trap. It's also extra fancy.
Or an ostrich, unfortunately.
God damn it. Hold on.
Anything with feathers.
Because we're going to pull a dog out of the boat or out of the water. That's just crazy.
All right, that's just crazy.
That's just crazy.
I
Right?
know.
Well, you had the trap doorbell the first time. This one's fancy because they tie a flare gun to the rope, so a flare will shoot very dramatically if this trap is sprung. And that is one of those Blimp
What I did was come up with one of them Blimp idea.
That's a blimp idea. But don't take it from me. Let's hear nephew Nathan describe it, as he does more speaking than we have ever heard on this show.
If anything touches that chicken, I got the flare gun set right here with a string that comes from the chicken to the flare gun trigger. As soon as that chicken gets touched, it's gonna set this off. It's gonna shoot a flare into the air. I guarantee we'll be able to see it from the boat.
Smart. Yeah. Let's get dark.
Smart.
Get out of here and go to the boat. Wait a little while.
Good idea, brother. Let's roll.
If the Parlangua is anything like a regular alligator, it won't take the bait until after dark.
We didn't mention earlier, but I did like when the narrator had to say the name Blimp. Blimp is attempting.
That gives him such authority, though. I think that kind of bolsters.
Yeah, I would love to be in the voiceover session with that voice actor, because I guarantee you, they're like, okay, Fred, do you want us to give you any context so you know what's... And he's like, no, I don't give a shit. The guy's name's Blimp. Okay, great.
Got it.
I'll
Mental
decide
image
what kind of a
achieved.
guy Blimp is. Yeah. Blimp has arrived on the scene.
Yeah, Nathan, I think they got like 2/3 through this episode to like, we are paying you to be on the show. You can't just not even laugh or repeat. Like, even the guys will say like...
Something big.
Nathan doesn't chime in on any of those or finish each other's sentences.
In my mind, I came up with this whole thing that like he had said a lot of stuff, but the producers were like, we can't. We can't understand
Either
what this
everything he
kid's
said
saying. We
was
can't use
fucking
this.
stupid or
Like,
just totally
Yeah,
unintelligible.
they're like, this guy does not. He's even worse than Blimp. We have to just use as much Blimp as we can for this episode.
Yeah.
Gotta blimp it up.
Doing it.
They found
the other
it.
guys just
Blimp
won't
is the
stop
only thing
smoking
keeping us
cigarettes.
afloat right now with the show. So this kid's dead weight.
Yeah, they found a little feral Cajun boy. I would watch a show just about that boy.
Yeah.
I
You want to know his
about
story, right?
Fascinating.
I was doing the math, so I mean, he looks like he's 19 or 20. He'd probably be like 27, 28 right now. Like, we might be able to get reach out to nephew
You think
Nathan.
he was 19 or 20 in this?
Yeah, he looked young, but he had a tattoo of a fishing hook. He had a fishing hook tattoo, so
Oh,
he was definitely dedicated to the craft.
No, he was probably 7
True.
then.
And
7 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say
Swamp Law.
maybe you could find Blimp, but hopefully Blimp's alive is what I'm gonna say.
Russ probably can find these people. Russ is good with Twitter. He'll get in touch.
Oh
with
yeah, I'm
that
sure
kid
Blimp's
somehow.
on Twitter just blowing things up over there. Yeah, we'll find him.
Yeah, he looks like a real Twitter character.
Just dropping bombs all over Twitter.
He's probably on Threads now, actually, to be honest.
We'll find him. We'll
Knowing
get
Blimp.
to him because he does. Spoilers. He does live through this experience. But so now the trap is set. You know, Nathan's got this extra little flare gun that's going to shoot off. So they again return to their swamp base camp to wait out the Parlangua. And Nathan, of course, he's a younger guy. He gets tired of waiting. But then we have a kind of a touching moment where Blimp assures him that, you know, in fishing, the waiting is the hardest part. And just when his patience was almost spent, the flare gun fires from the trap. They run out to go check on their tar trap hole. The chicken is gone, the rope snapped, and a trail of tar tracks are heading to the swamp. All right, they got something going here. And now there is a tar-covered Gator Man running loose through the swamp. So they head after him, and they make a gruesome discovery.
I smell something rotten.
Me too. God,
Smells bad. Smells like death or something. What was that in the light? Shine back?
God, it stinks.
9 deer carcasses, Eric. 9.
An animal eat anywhere he kills his prey. But humans, when they eat, they go home and eat at the table. And this son of a gun had all his bones in one pile. Got me shaking right now.
Man, I don't know about this, Eric. We ain't got no gun or nothing with us, bro. When it first started off, you know, we had, you know, tons of tar everywhere. And, you know, man, we've been tracking it for 4 or 5 miles back in the swamp. And the tar is getting lighter and thinner, and it's hard to see.
If we don't have no more tar to follow, if they don't have no tar, we lost it.
Let's get out of here. You know, we've been tracking this nasty thing out in the swamp. And we don't know if it's a half man, half gator, or if it's a mutant gator. But something set off those flares. So there's something out there.
Blimp and his crew have reached a dead end in this hunt for the Parlangua.
Oh, man, it got away. Who saw that coming? That everything would get tripped, but they just ran out of tar. Sometimes it happens. And you were right, Rob. They should have feathered it too. If they actually had the thing, you put glow-in-the-dark feathers on it or something. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, or just like a bunch of AirTags, Apple AirTags. This way, get one of those fuckers stuck to them, and then we're cooking.
Tracking devices. I thought those were not hard to come by, especially amongst
cameras
game.
Or
yeah, you could throw a tile on a Gator Man.
Glow sticks.
Yeah, for sure.
Glowing tar.
Also, can I just mention really quick that when they said animals, they just eat what they have when they kill it, that's so not true. Birds carry them off to their places. Jaguars drag their kills up on a tree. It's just not true.
But how do humans eat?
My only question is, do we think the producers snagged that chicken or one of Blimp's bar buddies that they had out in the woods?
I'll say my question is, did the production crew stack a bunch of 9 deer carcasses all into one spot in the middle of the swamp for this? Or is this thing real? Because that is super disturbing too, that they do come across 9 deer carcasses and are like, what the fuck did we just find out here? And they're like, yep, he's not, he has to eat here. Because we were wondering, what is the man part of Alligator Man? He likes to sit and enjoy a meal at his house, all right? He's not eating out. He wants to get the full experience. That's the man part of him.
He goes home and he watches White Lotus and eats his kill.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Exactly.
Guess that makes him part human, part chicken.
It's half alligator, half man.
Sit down, fire up the Netflix, crack open a beer, enjoy your kill.
I'll sit there and just go.
Things that make you go, huh.
Oh, God. Yeah, those are usually
something big.
Unfortunately, I have no update on this investigation by the Blimp crew. That was the end. And not only the end of this, it was the end of this whole show. This was the third and final episode of Beasts on the Bayou. But they did teach us a lot about the existence of Gator Man. I kind of like this cryptid. I think it could be out there. And I know none of you guys live down here in the Deep South, so kind of all this Gator Man talk might seem funny, but watch out. This is not the only half alligator, half man in this country, okay? Because New Jersey, during the summer of 1973, the residents of New Jersey's Newton Lafayette area were plagued by what eyewitnesses described as a large humanoid alligator. This is not just on the record down here.
In Jersey?
In Jersey. A local journalist.
What's he doing in Jersey?
A local journalist who covered the story compared the creature to an enduring Native American legend about a giant man-sized fish that could never be caught. Perhaps what makes the New Jersey Gator Man stand out the most amongst the other lizard men is the fact that its existence was publicly acknowledged by a state employee, and that young men from the tribe Kanagara make crocodile armor in their body by a ritual where they get scars that look like a crocodile's armor. However, this is probably just a coincidence. So this was reported in 1977, where a New York official reported on this. And there's also other Gator Man stuff. It's not just down here. Could be
amongst other reportings is
places
yada, yada,
where
yada,
gators ought not to be.
Yeah, there were sightings. They were mentioned. It's on the natural record. You can check it out.
If you're from Jersey, how do you know the difference between Gator Man and Lizard Man? I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm putting them in some sort of weird like
the same
club that they belong
category?
to, but yeah, they I feel like I could mistake those things, hybrid human forms of those. How do you know? Because Lizard Man's all over the place. I'm just bringing him into this because
if you look at that picture they constantly show on Beasts of the Bayou, it does look like a lizard man grabbing a dog in the water, but it's Gator Man's Parlangua.
That picture is bullshit.
Also, I just looked up where Lafayette, New Jersey is because I've never heard of it. That's like northern Jersey, right on the New York border, which makes it even weirder that there's.
It's not even like a swampy area.
No,
he's
I don't
way
think
up
so.
there. Way the fuck up there.
Yeah, weren't they talking about before? Like, oh, it's too cold. The winters get too cold in Louisiana.
For a Cuban croc, he's definitely not a Cuban croc.
Oh, for the Cuban
we can say
crocs.
that.
Okay, my bad. Now I feel stupid.
You should.
But it's weird that he's also from. It's spotted in a town in New Jersey that's also has
roots in Louisiana.
In Louisiana, so it's almost like he moved to the wrong one. Like
he was going to GPS.
Or
like his GPS took him to the wrong one.
Rus probably knows about this, but won't say it on the podcast. Maybe there's a portal. Maybe there's a Lafayette portal.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even
Anywhere
fucking
there's
think
a
of
city
that.
of Lafayette, which is
God damn it.
Everywhere has a Lafayette because
we just talked about Mount Shasta. We just talked about portals and you know, like you're right. It could be like a wormhole situation, a gator hole sort of situation.
This portal take you any Lafayette you want to go to. Lafayette, New Jersey.
Multiverse.
Lafayette, like Ontario, I guess. I don't know.
Lafayette, Indiana. Lafayette.
There you go.
Nevada.
I love the idea of Gator Man getting confused and like just ordering tickets to the wrong airport. Like that just is funny to me. I like can picture it so vividly and him being so pissed off. Like when he gets there.
He's like, he has to mess people up all the time.
Like at the JetBlue counter, just like, fuck. And they're just
I
like,
have to go
sorry,
on this
Gator
plane
Man.
and shapeshift and not try to freak out this lady next to me.
You're gonna have to check my bag
Keep
again.
it cool until
Right?
we get there.
You're not real. That
I'm
motherfucker's
real.
not real.
I'm
He's like,
real.
I'm Gator Man.
I promise. I've been on television on 3 episodes. So there you have it. Louisiana, New Jersey. You got 2 hotspots for Gator Man activity. I think we can wrap this up. Before that, though, we should figure out what the poll should be for this. I was going to say maybe what's the best swamp cryptid? We can throw Gator Man, Rougarou, Grunch, maybe Blimp. Does he count as a swamp cryptid? Or I don't know, maybe what's the best monster show? Because we cover so many of these also. What do you think, Drea?
Should be something focused on this gator dude, this gator
Gator
guy.
Man. I think it's got to be Gator Man. It's got to be like, what's
the coolest
Gator
thing
Man?
about
Is he
Gator
like-
Man?
Yeah, what is he?
What is he, man? What is he? Is he just a gator? Is he a Cuban alligator?
Yeah, is he from Cuba?
Half man, half gator. Is
it a mutant?
I don't know.
Whatever they
An
said.
other. Give us other. He's probably an other.
He might be.
What I did was
he's one of
come up with
those.
one of the Blimp ideas.
Maybe Blimp just came up with this. This is a Blimp ideas. Maybe. Could be a Blimp idea. So yeah, go find out. Go to our subreddit at r/Unbelievers Podcast to vote on that. And now, look, it looks like the tar has run out on this trail. So let's get the heck out of here.
Now, zip your pie holes, and I'll learn you something or two. Whenever I get the blues, I always think about this red pantless Gator Man used to live around these parts. As the day he was born. A ding-dang-dong, listen to my song about a guy named Lance and the gator that got his pants. A greater guy you'll never meet with a big old butt and little tiny feet. Lance Sackless was his name, and trapping alligators was his game. The Gator Man, he had no fear, and pants he wore to hide his rear. Here, Gator, oh, yo!
Oh yeah, so the Great Gator Man song, that one from Cow and Chicken. A lot of 90s cartoons getting references.
Oh,
Ren and
shit.
Stimpy.
Cow and Chicken. Holy
That was
shit.
from
what a
Cow and
throwback.
Chicken. They had their own Gator Man. Gator Man is kind of
Johnny Bravo.
Gator Man. There's a few
I
Gator
was just
Men.
thinking about Johnny Bravo the other day. Don't ask why.
Well, think about Wally Gator too. A lot of cartoon Gator Man. You've got Croco Stimpy, Gator Man. You've got all kinds.
Didn't we mentioned Swamp People? Wasn't there a guy on there called Gator Man? Wasn't that like his whole shtick?
There ought to have been.
I think
They're all
there
Gator
was.
Men. Yes.
He was like Gator Man, and they like called him that. He was like
I
famous.
think that was Gator Man.
From that show.
I remember him. I think
He is hormonal.
I remember that guy.
that makes sense.
But I know someone out there is watching this, and they're like, "How did they not mention that? That's that." I know we know about that guy. I'm just giving him the credit he deserves for being the original.
Well,
Gator
thank
Man.
you, Rob.
But-
That's so considerate.
It's one of those Rob ideas.
I try.
We love those.
I do what I can.
And this has been so fun. We have a little more to do. Kevin, thanks for sticking around because we have another segment we need to do. It's time for the Unbelievers Mailbag.
The Unbelievers Mailbag.
Get off my boat! Right in the mailbag.
Hey, man, check your mailbox.
Hey, you got some new mail over here.
Mailbag.
The mailbag is cool.
Mailbag. Sup, bitches? It's mail time. Woo!
All right, we've got a great email coming in from a new listener named Retroid Josh, and I'm going to read it for here. It says, "Hello all, new listener of the podcast and loving it. Found the show by going on a rabbit hole. I had heard Rob Christofferson from Our Strange Skies on the Chris Jericho podcast. I'm a big wrestling fan. Then I decided to try out Our Strange Skies. And the first episode I heard was E.T. Rider. And not trying to blow smoke up your ass, I genuinely thought, man, this Rus Ryan guy is funny and charismatic. Let me check this out. And now
Russ,
I have.
did you write this?
Hey, this guy's making some good points. I love this guy already. So this email's got me in. He says, and now I have 150 hours of podcasting to catch up on. So, hey, how cool is that already? Chris Jericho bump for the Unbelievers here. That's kind of cool.
I love Chris Jericho, dude. Like, fucking
Very
hell.
cool. Shout outs to Chris Jericho. Thank you for the
River
book.
Monsters.
Thank you.
There's that.
Thank you to Rob Christofferson, and thank you to Russ for being so charismatic and for pulling listeners from other shows, because that's what we're talking
and
about.
funny. He said funny and charismatic. So let's get back to this important email, the best one ever. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Just finished episode 21, The Beast of Grunch Road. Whoa, another Cajun Louisiana lore.
I played.
That was Miss Pulley. That was
be like a
perfect.
secret.
It gets better. It's so perfect. I enjoyed hearing my city, Slidell, being mentioned on the show. That's here in Louisiana. Unfortunately, I have not seen any grunches lately. However, another cryptid that is known to haunt these parts is one I hope will pop on the show someday, the Honey Island Swamp Monster,
Yes.
the Cajun Sasquatch. Which
I like that one.
We have, I believe we have. Even at our local Raising Cane's in Slidell, they have a copy of a local documentary about the swamp monster. Pretty sure it's tucked behind glass. Got to protect the valuables. Okay. Were you telling me that Raising Cane's is hiding cryptid documentaries from the public? I have to get into this.
I mean, if they're hiding the
it.
recipe for that secret sauce.
Speaking of Raising Cane's, Russ, did you see that they just opened the first Raising Cane's in Manhattan?
I did not, but I did see that there's a very famous musician pumping Raging Cane's now. What's his name? The guy who sang the song in the Spider-Man movie. Oh,
Sway Lee.
I'm sounding so silly. God dang it. Sunflower. Who's the guy who sings that? Come on, help me out. He's like the most famous person in the world.
Post Malone.
Yeah, Post Malone is pimping Raising Cane's now. There's a Post Malone meal you can get. All right, back to the
How
email.
do you feel about Raising Cane's overrated or excellent?
Totally overrated. Popeyes, always. I'm sorry. Look, I'll always mark out for Popeyes. I don't care. I'll even play.
Is that a Popeyes? God bless your doctor. Popeyes.
All right, I'm not going to have this Popeyes slur on this shirt.
I mean,
dude loves Popeyes. Don't get
look,
him
you
started
can't go
talking
wrong with
about
Popeyes, but Raising Cane's is pretty fucking good.
There's
It
one
is.
thing,
I think
though.
it's adequately rated.
Yeah, it's adequately rated, but they don't have anything. Anyway, let's get back here. So back to Retroid Josh. I bring this up because my family has some history with this creature. Okay, so he's talking about the Honey Island Swamp Monster. My story may be a bit of a spoiler, but I won't even say if it's 100% true because I don't want any families who created these DVDs to come after me trying to sue. But this is a story I was told growing up. Although I live in Slidell, I grew up in a small Louisiana town called Bogalusa. If Russ knows it, it doesn't have the best reputation in the world, and I do. It's now just a crack and meth capital these days. But when my grandfather was a younger man, it was more of a bustling city. He was a musician in the 50s and 60s, and he knew everyone. He and his brother were pretty big pranksters, and one time they accidentally created a local ghost story. Somewhat. I don't think anyone knows of it now. It would be fun to find, if a prank ghost story. Those are always great. They thought a buddy of theirs, one who was known to scare fairly easy, to a park that had a creek running through it right through nightfall, and they parked near the water. They were all talking for a bit, and then my grandfather told the group a story of a woman named Lorraine, a woman who had been drowned in the very creek in front of them some 30 years ago. The woman had been awaiting her lover, but was attacked by an unknown assailant and drowned right in the shallow end of the water. It is stated that if you visit the creek at nightfall and call Lorraine's name 3 times, Rob, you have to get that ready. She will appear, and if you are not her long lost lover, she will drag you to the water and leave you laying within the shallow waters of that creek. Of course, my grandfather then began to bellow into the dark, Lorraine, come on, you got to hit it. That's what they're cueing.
The Elaine one?
Lorraine,
we have
Elaine.
I
think we have Elaine.
We have Elaine, but
I peed my pants, man.
I'm not going to tell
What's up with
anybody.
that?
Come on.
That I have a clip for. I can tell you right now.
It's always a good time when someone pees their pants.
So his friend peed his pants. Their car wouldn't start. There was a lot going on there.
I'm not sure that even happened in that order.
They saw the ring girl.
Some 40 years early,
email.
as he's claiming here. And yeah, someone's peed their pants. But I bring this up because later my grandfather said that he had heard the same ghost story being told around town, even though I'm certain he confided in many people that he had made it all up as a practical joke. Later, he said that he had become friends with Harlan Ford, the man who first spotted the Honey Island swamp monster. That's kind of interesting. He said that during one evening, he had told him the story of the ghost Lorraine, which apparently got him thinking, and pretty soon Harlan was all over the news for his Bigfoot encounter. So he's connecting the fact that his grandfather is making up bullshit and getting paranormal stories told to a friend of his going, you know what? I saw a Bigfoot in Honey Island Swamp. Okay, last sentence here. Following that, they talk frequently, and my grandfather states that he was told numerous times by him that it was all a hoax. But that's just what I heard. Uh-oh. A lot of people buy into Honey Island Swamp Monster. I hope any of this was interesting to you all. Really loving the podcast and can't wait to get all caught up. Unbeliever Josh. New Unbeliever Josh from the Chris Jericho bump that we have recently received.
Josh from Chris Jericho lore.
That was great.
Thank you for the story.
That's a good feeling when you find a podcast that you really like, and then you've got hours of content to fill your empty life.
Oh my God.
Just dive into
hundreds of hours.
It's the best. It's like when you find
hundreds of hours at this point.
like a book series or a TV series you never like looked at, and there's 8 seasons. You're like, oh my God, I'm just gonna live in this for like a month and completely rearrange
Thank
my
God.
brain.
I'm not planning on leaving the house for at least 3 months. That should cover it. Like, thank God.
Well, thank you so much.
That was great.
Thank you so much. That was a great email. But we do have a couple of voicemails. We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to catch up on some voicemails. Let's hear them. What do we have, Rob?
All right, yeah. You want to? I guess we'll check out the last 2 most recent voicemails that we have. Here is the first one.
Hey, Rob, Okey. Now that you're living in your new place, I wanted to come over and have some food with you. But my only question is, do you have any bowls?
Is that Joshua P. Warren?
Whoa.
You would think that Joshua P. Warren would have bowls of his own. So
I'm pretty sure it sounded like previous guy who called doing Joshua P. Warren impressions.
No, it's good.
Sounds like it could have been him.
Very excited. You're actually closer to Joshua P. Warren than you've ever been in your life now that you're out there in Hollywood. He can probably have access.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. And don't.
I'm going to be going to Vegas sooner than later, too, because I'm really close to it now. I'm like a 4-hour ride driving.
Let's aim for like September, October. That's
we're making that happen, so I'll be real close to Joshua P. Warren. But yeah, thank you for, I guess, the...
the welcome?
What was that? I don't know how you take that.
The bowl wishes. I don't know. I don't know what to call that. But thank you.
Threat.
I would call that a threat. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Look, people are telling me I'm funny and charismatic. They're telling Rob I know where you live. This is a great show. I love the listeners. Thank y'all so much for reaching out. And that's it. Do we have one more?
No, we got another one. We got one more.
Good.
We got one more. Here's the other one.
Drea this time. Let's see.
Shit.
Yeah, here we go.
What's up, dudes and Dreas? It's the Whoopin' Hooper, a.k.a. Evie Penis. Great name by me. Kudos to both me. I also have a third moniker, but I want to keep that one kind of like a secret. Anyway, there's been a lot of David Paulides talk recently.
Roy is not this man's real name.
Guy, wow, he's a lot, huh? But so I went back and watched those first 2 documentaries again, about the missing 411 things, whatever. And I gotta say, 2 of them happened in Idaho, the state I live in. One of them was definitely Grandpa's mess mouth buddy with the kid. That was sad. And then the other one took place in Hell's Canyon, where a guy went missing. Man, hey, it's not called Snow Cones and Boobies Canyon. Maybe don't go there. It's not awesome. It's Hell's Canyon. But those first 2 documentaries, I didn't think were
you see Nose Candy
too
and Boobs
paranormal
Canyon?
focused. Maybe I just was thinking too much with my brain and not enough with my heart. I don't know. So I got to watch this third one. I watched this third one. They talk about the Idaho Triangle. I was lived here for 30 years. I didn't know there was any triangles out here.
There's none.
I got to go check it out. I live a couple hours away, but
it's very
thinking of starting a petition to get that triangle changed to a rhombus. First of all, definitely a more paranormal shape. We can all agree for sure.
We can all agree on that.
Secondly, there's a lot of paranormal stuff going on at my house.
Sure.
That could be the 4th point of the rhombus. I mean, like, we got a bunch of ghosts and stuff. It's pretty haunted. Rob read about it once on a live stream in a sultry voice. Appreciate that. The other stuff's been going on, too. My wife saw a UFO once, and when she saw it, she just said, cool. It's not true either. That's a lie. I just like that soundboard clip. But it was pretty crazy. She called me right up about it, said there's this light flying through the sky. It blew her mind. It was awesome. And then this morning, the most paranormal thing happened. I sat down to have some breakfast, and I thought I got this weird, eerie feeling. Like I didn't know, I've never felt it before. It was odd. That's when I realized I was sitting on my own hang down. You can't explain that.
I think that was a great test of how long a voicemail can be.
Hang down? On his own hang down? Is that what he said?
What's a hang down?
I didn't understand.
Was he sitting on his nuts? Is that what he meant? I think he meant he was sitting on his nuts.
That's what I thought.
I think that's what he means.
Somebody always... Wasn't there a story about Mr. Belvedere sitting on his own nuts?
Yes, there's a very famous story. So the production, of Mr. Belvedere was shut down for a couple days because he did sit on his own balls. And R.I.P.
I
Gilbert.
never would have remembered that if it weren't for. Thank you, Kevin.
R.I.P. Gilbert for that information. But thank you, Whooping Hooper, and all your other mysterious
EV penis. Yeah, that was quite an email.
Penis.
I like when people.
That was a
just call us and they
voicemail, a
just
very
rant.
long voicemail. It's not an email.
They just rant and tell us about all different things happening, all of their different UFO and paranormal experiences combined into one just 2-minute phone call. It's always
I do want to say, Snow Cone and Boobies Canyon is actually here in Georgia. So,
Okay, this is gonna might change it up a little. Was it snow cones and boobies, or was it a nose candy and boobies? I couldn't tell. I thought it was a drug reference, but either one sounds like a fun canyon to hang out in.
Either canyon, I'm going.
Either canyon. Yeah.
I remember reading his ghost story on the stream one time too. I do remember that he mentioned that, and I just like the way that he talked about the canyon. He was like, "It's not awesome." Okay, like you don't want to go there. I do like that phrase, just saying like it's not awesome.
Just being frank about it.
Don't go to the devil's fucking whatever, the devil's gut canyon. Like it's not a place you want to be.
You don't want to be on the devil's level.
Don't go there.
Let's just put it that way. But that's it. Thank you all so much, and that's it for the Unbelievers mailbag.
The Unbelievers mailbag. Ooh, right in the mailbag.
Hey, man, check your mailbox.
Hey, you got some new mail over here. Mailbag. The mailbag is cool. Mailbag.
Sup, bitches? It's mail time.
All right, we're getting close to the end, but Rob, we have one more thing to do. Everyone's third favorite segment. It's called
Poll Results.
This week's poll: how are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? And the choices were Bigfoot, Lemurians, UFOs, or creeps who want your poo. So I'm going to ask you, Drea Mora, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
I think we're all in accordance that it's creeps who want your poo.
All right, how about you, Kevin Cobbs? How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? UFOs, Bigfoot, Lemurians, or creeps who want poo? Mount Shasta.
I guess I can't argue against creeps who want your poo. I gotta go with that.
It's a strong choice. How about you, Rob?
I don't trust those Lemurians, so I'm going to be the odd man out here.
Oh, and you are. Congratulations, Drea and Kevin, with a good percentage of the vote. Creeps who want your poo is the winner this week. But of course,
I love to win that way.
Of course, there are others. How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? What was Gigi Allen's grandma doing in that cave? A weird origin story. Signed, Whooping Hooper. That's a good one.
Always love Gigi Allen reference anyway.
It's pretty good.
You're talking about public poo and Gigi Allen. You're on the right track. Thank you, Whooping Hooper. How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? Goddamn turd burglars. Signed, Unbeliever Maxwell. Thank you, Unbeliever Maxwell. How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? You mean you don't know? Hot damn, it's the Loveland Frog. Signed, Unbelievable Penguin. I don't know if we have any...
Well, that's a weird location for the Loveland...
I don't think it was the Loveland Frogman. We got a Kermit voice. It could have been this.
I know you're there. Oh, you kids again?
It could have been that. Could have been the Kermit the Frogman. I don't know.
That
and
was
just
Loveland, Ohio.
that was him.
Yeah.
But just so Kevin understands, in Shasta there was a cave with a old lady that told a kid to go poop on a piece of paper.
Well, it was his grandma, but it was maybe
his
a
grandma.
robot.
She said, "Here's a piece of paper. Go poop on this." Allegedly. That's part of the what goes on at Mount Shasta. She was a ghost or something. We don't really know. But just wanted you to understand. There's probably going to be a lot of talking about that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, thanks for that.
I did start that episode, but I didn't finish it, so I appreciate the context.
There you go.
Okay.
It happens. It does happen. It's understandable.
Incontinence happens.
Well, now Kevin is in the lead. How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? There is a high chance the cartels are behind some of it, but how can they be behind all of it? Signed, Sprinkles Von Tingle. That's true. They can't be responsible for everything.
Sprinkles Von Tingles?
Sprinkles Von Tingles. How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? Everyone brings a little stupid to the table. One of the hosts says this. Anyone know who? They did sign off. Okay, well.
Oh, boy.
Nah, you tried.
I think that was me. I think I said that. I don't remember, but it sounds like something any of us could have said.
Yeah, we're all jerks.
Yeah, but...
Oh, my God. This is just stupid.
It does sound like it. So here we go with the next one. Kind of related. How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? A second paranormal investigator has just hit the tower. Rus Ryan, believer skeptic, host quotes. Wait, that's not fair. All right. They're taking my quotes from the related show. All right. But thank you, host quotes for that. How are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? Simple. They in my mouth. Nom nom. Signed, Titty Boy Tycoon. Say my name backwards.
Titty Boy Tycoon.
Titty Boy Tycoon, nom nom, they in my mouth.
I'm not going to say your name backwards.
Well, that's what he wants. And finally...
Is that a clip? Is there a clip involved there?
I really don't know.
That's just Reddit.
No, dude.
That's just Reddit. Because we're doing Reddit now, so that kind of stuff is going to happen.
And finally, how are people disappearing from Mount Shasta? I bet if Scared of My Dad guy was to encounter his dad on this trail, he would start throwing up and filling his pants. Signed, Green Finhawk. And there's definitely a clip associated with that.
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
This is a very confusing one. I think Mount Shasta kind of scrambled everyone's brains, especially the poll results. This is one of the weirdest ones. I'll throw out there, I liked Goddamn Turd Burglars from Unbeliever Maxwell. That was pretty strong. Drea, didn't he stand out to you?
I mean, that first one, Whooping Hooper with Gigi Allen's grandma, or I think he said grandma.
Yeah, he said, what was Gigi Allen's grandma doing in that cave? Weird origin story. That's a really good one.
Yeah. That's going to be my vote.
Kevin, did any stand out to you? I could read some back, too. We had Simple, They in My Mouth, Nom Nom, and Everyone Brings a Little Stupid on the Table. Someone said this. They don't know who. Who did you like in this?
I mean, is it cheating just to go with that? He mentioned Gigi Allen and,
No.
Not at all.
No, you're allowed to choose. The choice can be
all.
for whatever reason, really.
I'm going to go with the Gigi Allen one just because once a year, I'm reminded of Gigi Allen's existence, and I appreciate it.
And this was the one.
All right, this is Gigi Allen appreciation. I'm definitely down for that. How about you, Rob? You behind this?
Behind.
You would think I would. But in this situation, I don't know. Who else was there? Give me a couple other ones.
Yeah, Sprinkles Von Tingle with there's a high chance the cartels are behind some of it, but how could they be behind all of it?
That's an actual quote. That was something that was actually said in the thing.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know, Russ. I'm gonna leave this up to you.
No,
you decide.
I think everyone is on the right side. Congratulations, Whooping Hooper with what was Gigi Allen's grandma doing in that cave? Weird origin story. You just won this week's poll results. All right. Well, we have come to the end of the program, but before we go, Kevin Cobbs, thank you so much for returning to Unbelieververse. I hope we can get you on more. We do live streams. We do a live paranormal talk show and other stuff. I'd love to get you more involved. Thank you for being on tonight. Do you have anything you want to say or plug?
No. Thank you for having me on and getting me out of podcast retirement, which I'm in, and it's been a pleasure, a blast. You guys are the best. So.
Yeah, we pulled you out like Stuttering John, who's been gone for 8 months. Now you're back too. We're pulling everyone back. They're getting pulled out of their cave.
So they always say he's the Stuttering John of our show, basically. No,
it's a terrible thing to say.
No, nobody says that.
I don't. Yeah, but I'll take it.
Oh, I thought he was going to start stuttering. Oh my God! Look what you've done to him.
We have to find that TV show that you were in and have you back for a stream to at least watch that with you.
Yeah, this this podcast recording triggered that memory for me because I kind of forgot that I was a part of that. If you find it, let me know.
Oh, we will. And I bet you we're going to watch it. Sure. We're going to say...
he is hormonal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you definitely are, because I'm like 16 in Catholic school in that, thing. So, very hormonal.
We'll find it. Thank you so much for being on. So much. Drea, you have anything you want to say or plug?
Just the usual shit. Spirits and Spirits Pod. That on Instagram, at Ghost Drinkers on Twitter. Hell, check out Snacking with Jack Pod on Instagram. We'll be cooking up a new episode on that pretty soon. I'm pretty sure he wants to. And we're just all chugging through this fucking sweaty ass summer. So
it is a shitty summer
bear
so
with
far.
us.
Yeah, we're getting through. And I like everyone has kind of reset in a new way. Rob's now in LA. Everyone's kind of back. We're doing it, I guess, as you would say. Rob, you have anything you want to say or plug?
Thank you to everybody who's given me cool recommendations on places to check out in LA. All the California people who've been hitting me up on Instagram and giving me all the Californian insight that I need.
And I've given you nothing.
Yeah, no, you've given me plenty.
Okay.
You've all the wisdom that you couldn't give me. You've always given me, so I appreciate that, and thank you to everybody who's reached out. So, check out my Instagram at Rob Okey, at Okey Audio, and follow all of the LPN things that I produce.
Rob, are you gonna let LA change you? Are you gonna be like LA?
Fuck yes, I'm gonna let him.
Let it change me. It's already started. It's already begun. My metamorphosis into LA Rob has already begun.
Oh, don't worry.
I bought a hat. Check it out. Look.
Something big.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because I was actually being like sincere and thinking that I wasn't giving you pointers and stuff about it. And I'm like,
Rob
oh, right. I did tell you.
Yeah, no, I
forgot I told you. You need to get a fucking Dodgers hat.
Been wearing my hat backwards this whole time. I have an LA Dodgers hat on right now. So it's official. Yeah. My metamorphosis has begun.
Next time I'm on here, Rob's going to be riding motorcycles with Chet Hanks around Los Angeles.
If I could only be so lucky, man, to be friends with Chet Hanks.
All right, well, so yes, go be sure and check out Being Nice to Rob. And I want to plug my show, my YouTube show that I do on the Unbelievers podcast YouTube channel, Rus Ryan's Believer Skeptic. I am coming back this Thursday night with an unbelievable guest, as someone involved with psionics that you wouldn't believe that I will be interviewing this Thursday night live on YouTube. I'm being very vague.
We're gonna be.
And that's it. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. This Thursday night, July 13th, is going to blow your mind. And that's it. The Unbelievers podcast hosts today were Drea, Mora, Kevin Cobbs, and me, Rus Ryan. Our producer and soundboard engineer is Rob Okey. Our editor is Eisa YZ. You can join our Patreon by going to patreon.com/Unbelievers podcast for monthly bonus episodes and a bunch of other stuff. You can follow the show on Twitter at Unbelievers Pod and Instagram at Unbelievers Podcast. Our Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. Check out our merch store at TeePublic. There's a link in the description. There's always cool stuff there. Our music advisor is Pandora3373. Our official composer and theme song creator is Unbeliever A.A. Ron, a.k.a. Aaron Shilb. Follow him on Instagram at The Aaron Shilb. Our official graphic designer and card maker who designed our logo is Raymond Rowell. Check out his work at Harley Warren Art on Twitter and harleywarren.com. Our official Guardian the Bench is at Kraken Stacker. Our official alien bopper is Nunchuck Bop. And from Patreon, our official extraterrestrial woman still waiting for hashtag rubbing heads to trend is Crescent Moon. Jesus Christ, let's get that a little tighter, Crescent. Woo!
I love it.
Our official Reverend Doctor of the podcast is Non-Newtonian Druid. Our official Big Island Paranormal Friendly Weatherman is Green Finhawk. You guys are all testing me with these. Our official procrastinator is Jeffrey Hartneriff. Our official Baby Yoda publicist is Pam Z. Our official Unbeliever listening between the stations for a message from Art Bell is Scott E. Our official Unbeliever raising puck wedgies is Joe Filler. Our official Madman is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Unbelievers Time Traveler is Taylor Nelson. Our official Snack is Jack S. Our official Ghost Hunter is Amelia Childs in Ghost Hunting in New England. Our official Senior European Correspondent is Kay Mill of the I Don't Know podcast. Our official Paranormal Art Curator is Isis Haynes. Our official Rod is Rod Belagosi. Our official Unbelievers in need of titles are Postal Patty, new to Patreon, Mike Henry, Todd X, Lid Vicious, Sandra and Deborah Folds, Ramiro, Trash Baby, Adam Dvorak, Wombat Preservationist, and this week, Unbelievers' focus is Postal Patty, who recently signed up for an entire year on the Patreon at the 10th Wonder level. That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Look, I don't know what you were thinking. I had to actually reach out to Patty and make sure this wasn't some kind of mistake. So I asked,
You sure you ain't been hitting on that shine, Petey?
I mean, Patty. All right, look, I'm all out of sorts, and Christina will tell you.
I don't know what his issue is, but he is hormonal.
Good night.
The boy went hunting, but he never came back. And the Parlangua, the swamp boogie man, is half alligator and the other half man. Son, don't go when you hear the call of the swamp water booger, the Parlangua. The Parlangua.
Discontinue! Discontinue!